Salutations. Welcome to a Wednesday edition of Evan and Tiki. We got a lot to get to. It is official. Justin Fields will not be the starting quarterback for the New York Jets on Sunday. More on that later. Good news coming out of Giant Camp as they get set for Sunday night against the Kansas City Chiefs. And Yankee fans almost get a heart attack last night, courtesy of their baseball team. But last night, I'm honored, Tiki, that you were at Citi Field. Because what you witnessed last night at Citi Field, and you know me, I love baseball.
Yes, you do.
We saw the future. We saw the future. Because last night, Carlos Mendoza finally did something that is necessary for the state of the New York Mets, and I'm here to tell you is the future of Major League Baseball.
I agree with you 100%.
The tag team pitching effort.
They call it the piggyback. You know, did it? The Dodgers did this.
Sort of, but not really.
They did it like an opener. They did it more of the...
That's different,
They did it more of the Tampa Bay way.
But the Tampa Bay way was never made sense to me. And that's why this is so different. Like, I'll never forget, and I'll give the guy credit. What's his name on MLB Network? Kenny. What's his last name again? Brian Kenny. Brian Kenny, who I have great respect for.
Like Kenny.
Brian Kenny.
Kenny Albert?
I don't think he does MLB. Kenny has a lot of jobs, and he's great at all of them, but I don't think he talks baseball.
It was not him. The great Brian Kenny, many, many years ago, would go on TV and scream and yell about how the future of baseball is an opener. And we saw it, right? We saw the Rays do it for a while. We obviously saw the Yankees do it in that postseason game. We saw the Dodgers do it last year. And what I always had a tough time wrapping my head around was why this even made sense. Like, what is the point of using a reliever for an inning and then a quote-unquote bulk guy? So, yeah, it became the rage around baseball, but it never made sense. What we saw last night, and Yankee fans, I want you to pay attention because this can involve you at some point. This is the future. Okay? Guys don't go 9 innings anymore. Let's accept that. Bullpens, for the most part, are shaky. Yankee fans are shaking their head right now. Yeah. We accept that. So if you have a couple of guys who are really 4 or 5 inning pitchers, which is the majority of pitchers in 2025, why would you not tell them, all right, you're going to tag team this baby tonight. You go 4, which normally isn't long enough. But if 2 guys are going 4, hey, Sean, what's 4 plus 4? 8. That's basically the game.
That's true.
So what we saw last night is not only exciting for what the Mets should employ over the last few weeks of the year and certainly into the playoffs, but I'm making you a prediction on September 17th, 2025. This is the future of Major League Baseball. Because if starters can't go through 7 and they can't go 8 and majority of them can't, why not lean into the 4 or 5 innings and say tag team it?
You know what's interesting? This is an old idea brought anew. And the only reason I know this is because back in the day, I don't remember even why we had Rich Goose Gossage on our show. But he came on our show, and if you've ever heard him talk, he's curmudgeon-y. He is like angry about the future and everything that Major League Baseball has become. But he said this thing, and I'll never forget it. He was talking about closers. And he's like, why do you? Because he's obviously just one of the great closers in Major League Baseball history for a while. Led the league 3 or 4 times in saves. I can't remember what it was, but it doesn't even matter. But he would say, why do you need a closer? They throw me in the 5th inning, and I finished the game. Right. I remember being like, that's because you were badass, man. Like, you were also a starter. Like, he started a bunch of games in one of those seasons. So it hit me and it stuck, and then I forgot about it until last night. And as I was watching the game last night, Sean Manaea comes in and he's throwing that sidearm lefty delivery, and he only gives up the 1 home run, the only run that he gave up. It was just, it made me remember Goose Gossage and the idea that this is the future. It's what never took form in the late 70s, 80s with guys like Goose Gossage. Well, because they didn't have a designated closer. They just had the next guy who would come in and hopefully finish the game.
Well, and back then, closers, if you would be able to pitch multiple innings, which is now rare. Like when David Bednar comes in and gets 6 outs, we make a big deal of it. Same thing with Edwin Diaz. So it was different in that regard. I think what's leading to this point, what the Mets are deploying, and they should deploy it more over the last 2 weeks, and I think will be deployed throughout baseball over the next decade, a couple of things are making this happen. Number one, the designated hitter. I got to start right there. Obviously, in the American League, we always had that, so it could have been an option in the AL. But in the NL, I never thought about this because I'm usually pinch hitting late in games.
Right.
I don't have to worry about that anymore because pitchers don't hit. So, number one, if I'm using a guy to pitch the last 4 or 5 innings, I don't have to factor in that big at-bat late in the game. That is now gone since pitchers do not hit anymore. And number two, we have reached a crisis point in Major League Baseball. There is only a handful of guys that legitimately go deep into games.
Yes.
It's a handful.
Yeah.
Now, luckily, Yankee fans, I want you a part of this conversation, too. You have a few of them. Like, before Garrett Cole's injury, he was one of those guys that could go deep into games. Max Fried and Carlos Rodon, I would qualify as guys that can go relatively deep in games.
Yeah. You have one, too, sort of, even though he's kind of been bad of late, David Peterson.
Sort of, yeah. I agree. Nolan McClain has a chance to be that guy. But the majority of starting pitchers, they don't go deep into games. No. And sometimes we ask them to go deep into games when they're not capable of it and bad things happen. Like last night with Cam Schlittler, which is a great example. You have a big lead, so you assume, I'll be able to get 5 out of him. Mm-hmm. So what I loved about last night, and this isn't always going to work. Obviously, the Mets scored 5 runs in the first inning. That helped out. Clay Holmes was attacking the strike zone. He gave up a couple of solo home runs. That helped out. It's not always going to be perfect. I acknowledge that.
Right.
But you're basically telling your starting pitcher, I'm not asking for more out of you than what you're capable of. Go give me 4 good innings. Because if 2 guys go 4 innings, like I asked Sean to do the math, you've just completed 8/9 of the game.
Right. Or 4 and 5, like you got from Sean Manaea.
Right. Or last night when you literally don't have to use any real reliever. So I love it. I know it's not always going to work.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, Teak, this is the future. It's the future of baseball.
I think you're going to see teams think about doing it. It's going to get complicated if you're going to try to do it every game.
Well, you can't do it every game. So I thought this through last night. I had a lot of time, Tiki, after the game, and had a wonderful time with Tiki and Sean and Tommy. SNY gave us some TV time. We'll get to that later. But I was thinking about this all last night. Obviously, you can't do it every single day. I think there are 1 or 2 spots in your rotation where you say you guys are the tag team. So let's use the Mets as an example, since there were 2 weeks left in the season, and they are they're on the cutting edge of this. Sean Manaea and Clay Holmes are the tag team. They're tag team number 1. We can give them any kind of nickname you want. You guys are creative. You come up with it. All right? Whatever it is. Clay Holmes, Sean Manaea. Sean, you used to like wrestling back in the day. Used to have the Heart Foundation. Used to have, Legion of Doom, the New Age Outlaws.
Yeah, Badass Billy Gunn there.
I'm
working on it. I'm working on it.
You work on a tag team name. So those guys are a team. And it doesn't have to be Clay starting and Sean coming after. Mendy acknowledged that after the game, that they're thinking about, on Sunday, flipping the 2 guys. Because the Nationals feature more left-handed bats, especially towards their top of the order. So makes complete sense. I would also do this with Jonah Tong and Kodai Senga. So I think 2/5 of their rotation should be tag teams. And then, Nolan McClain and Brandon Sproat and David Peterson would be your normal, quote-unquote, starters. And then on the days where your tag team pitches, you're probably not going to have to use much of your bullpen.
Yeah.
Because
again, last night, you didn't use any of it.
You didn't use any of it. And even on mediocre nights, like let's say you get 3 and 4 innings out of your tag team, that's still 7/9 of a baseball game.
Yeah, so here's the thing. It's exciting to think about this potentially working. It's challenging if either or both of them crap the bed.
Well, okay. Sean brought that up last night, and I have an answer to this.
Especially if it's the starter.
Well, I think it's worse if it's the second guy, because you've already taken the starter out.
I agree with that.
Well, look at let's use last night as an example. So Clay Holmes pitches 4 innings, allows 3 hits and 2 runs. His pitch count was low. It was in the 50s. He's clearly capable in a normal start to begin the 5th inning, right?
Yes.
The Mets Carlos Mendoza wisely says, did your job, I'm going to take you out. If Sean Manaea implodes in the 5th inning, you're now going to your bullpen, your true bullpen, in the 5th inning. And the way I would answer Sean or anyone else who says, that's a disaster, wouldn't that be every 5th day anyway?
Yeah, true. But here's
it's the same thing.
The only way this works is if you have 2 starters who are both, I don't want to say dispensable because you need them obviously for this, but 2 starters who you're not necessarily needing to start every 5 days. You know what I mean? So because you're not if Clay Holmes blows it in the 2nd inning and you got to go to Sean Manaea, maybe he can finish you the game.
Correct. Like maybe you do get 5 or 6 innings
But if you don't have a Sean Manaea, then you're stuck with a bullpen you're basically already in the bullpen.
No, you only do it with two capable starting pitchers. Like Sean Manaea and Clay Holmes are great examples of it because if you
How many guys are going to want to do this?
I don't care what they want. I'm glad you brought that up. Really?
We talked about this yesterday at the game because Clay Holmes only pitched 4 innings.
Right.
And look, they had a huge lead. He did his job.
Yes.
He didn't get the win. Sean Manaea got the win.
Well, I think
now the wins don't matter, but it kind of does.
So I think that we are headed to, and I know that Gary and Keith talked about this on the broadcast last night. I brought this up a lot on the Rico. It's an in the weeds thing. Mm-hmm. They should change the win stat. It should become a decision that official scorers make. And once that happens, your argument's out the window. Mm-hmm. And that's an easy change. The game has changed. The sport has changed.
Right.
My grandfather, the late Grandpa Bernie, used to always tell me that. He would get very pissed off when a closer would blow a game for a starter and then vultured the win.
Yeah.
And he used to tell me and my dad, this is why official scorers should make the decision on wins.
Right.
Well,
David
guess
Bednar's
what?
done this a couple times this year for the Yankees.
That's right. Well, my grandfather was ahead of his time. So I think that's coming. And if starting pitchers don't want to do it, too bad. You know what I would tell Clay Holmes? If you ever prove that you can pitch 7 innings, then you can be one of the regular traditional starters.
Right.
Like, I'm not asking Nolan McClain to do this. I'm not even asking David Peterson yet to do this. But for the guys that are proving that they are 4 5-inning guys, it makes the most sense. So I don't care what Clay Holmes or Sean Manaea prefers. Now, both after the game gave the right answer, which is whatever is best for the team. It is best for the team. And I see a world in the future, and you can't do it with your entire rotation. It's just the numbers won't work.
Right.
But you can do it with a spot or two, especially if you have enough arms to say you're tag teaming games. And I want to see them do it with Tong and Senga next. Because I'm not confident Kodai Senga can go 6 or 7 innings, and Jonah Tong is a young arm. Mm-hmm. So
who starts? Senga?
I don't think that matters, Teak. I think that you approach it based on lineups.
I think it matters for a guy like Kodai Senga who came over to be, one of these aces in Major League Baseball. So now you're going to throw him out of the pen?
Well, first of all, I
think what you're discounting is the ego, and I'm not using that in a cocky way, but the ego of professional athletes, especially starting pitchers in Major League Baseball.
Sean Manaea is making $25 million a year. Sean Manaea was the quote-unquote ace of the Mets last year. He handled it like a champ yesterday.
He also has stunk since he came back from the IL.
Well, what's Kodai Senga done since he came back from the IL before he was sent to the minors?
True.
I'll play this game all day with you.
But Kodai Senga has not signed a $25 million a year contract.
No, he signed a $15 million a year contract. He makes less money, if anything. I think that, as a manager, you've always got to massage the egos,
of course,
and getting guys to buy in. But I just see something that makes a lot of sense. And what's always boggled my mind, as I mentioned at the top, is the opener and the bulk guy never made sense. It always felt like guys were too smart for themselves in executing that plan. This is simple, and it makes sense. We're in a world in which starters don't go deep into games. So take 2 guys who are good for 4 innings, who pay the tax of third time around the batting order. We've heard that term before. They pay the third time around the batting order tax. Well, guess what? If I'm only asking 4 innings from you, maybe 5, but probably 4, maybe even 3 on some days, then there's no tax.
Yeah.
You're tax-free. And I think the Mets not only have a chance to put themselves in a better position to win games over the final 2 weeks, but I think they have a chance to show the rest of Major League Baseball that you are staring at the future. And Scott Boras may not like it. He may not like the fact that general managers are going to respond to the likes of Clay Holmes and say, we're not going to pay you that much because you're only pitching half of what we're expecting. That's not my problem.
Yeah.
And that's not Mendy's problem.
But that is a problem.
Well,
at the end of the day, the money the guys are going to be limited to is going to be a problem.
Then prove you can go 7 innings.
Yeah, no, you're right.
If you can't go 7 innings,
it ups the bar for starting pitchers.
Nolan McClain looks like he can go deep into games, and that's why I don't even mention him in this discussion.
Right.
Max Fried has made his money, deservedly so. I'm not going to mention him in this discussion. But for 80% of the rest of the league, and I don't think that's an exaggeration, that 80% of starting pitchers are basically 4 or 5 inning guys. For you guys, welcome to a new world order. And that new world order is you're going to tag team. And if you want to come up with cute nicknames and sell T-shirts with your tag team partner, I'm all for it. Met fans, go at it. Clay Holmes and Sean Manaea. You're a wrestling fan, Tommy. You got a nickname for those two?
I don't, but I'm cooking one up as we speak.
Okay. Whatever you got. It's the future of Major League Baseball, and it's got the Mets on a 2-game winning streak. Before we tag team together.
What?
And I do like the term tag team. Like, I don't like piggyback. Who does piggybacks?
Piggyback's a cool name, though.
Is it, though?
Yeah.
Is it piggyback where you go on my back and I carry you?
Yes.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with what we just saw. It's not even an accurate comparison. Did Sean Manaea go on Clay Holmes' back?
No,
they tagged out and tagged in like professional wrestling.
Yeah, but tag team has different connotations that kind of, you know,
I don't know
might be inappropriate.
Like what?
Just check out your porn search.
Wow. I mean, jeez. I'm thinking about the Wyatt Six being the tag team champions now.
That could also be porn. The Wyatt Six.
We'll get to your calls coming up. Do you see the future the way I do? We'll get to your calls, 888-808-1019. Plus, as Devin Williams re-earned the trust of New York Yankee fans. A lot of baseball to get to, plus Justin Fields will not start Week 3 for the New York Jets. What does that mean for the future? And the latest on Andrew Thomas. A jam-packed Wednesday in New York City. All live from the Town Fair Tire Studios, powered by Town Fair Tire. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.